the Unplugged Debate. The topic is the art of problem solving with data analytics and AI strategic approach. So joining us on the stage, on the panel, ladies and gentlemen, is Amita Mirajkar, Vice President EXL Analytics. She's a seasoned technology leader with 2 decades of expertise in driving business transformation and growth using data and analytics. She leads a global portfolio of cloud-driven digital solutions across industries, primarily including retail, BFS, and education. Her expertise is spanning from global scaling organizations to delivering business value for enterprise through cutting-edge technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of you and the panel, Amita Mirajkar. Joining Amita on the panel, ladies and gentlemen, is Ramya Parashar, Chief Operating Officer, MIQ. She has a deep expertise in executive-level operations and leadership positions spanning across multitude of domains. She is multidisciplinary business leader who's responsible for spearheading operational and cultural transformations, maximizing bottom-line savings, driving profitability along formulation of data and analytics, data science strategies. Ladies and gentlemen, she's received the noteworthy recognition. I want all of you to clap as I say this. She's received the top Best Woman COO 2022, Leader 2.0, 40 Under 40 awardee, Iconic Women of Excellence Fortune India, the Most Admired Global Indians, and the Inc. Most Inspiring Woman Entrepreneur Award. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands up in the air and clap as loud as you can for Ramya Parashar. Our next panelist heads Central Data Science Team and Corporate Solutions at Swiss Re. Our next panelist has about 16 years of work experience in analytics and data science, holds a double MBA in IT project management and data science, and is currently pursuing a PhD in artificial intelligence. Let's welcome the VP and Head CorSo Data Science, COE Swiss Re, Ashok Shetty. Completing the panel, ladies and gentlemen, is Soumendra Mohanty, Chief Strategy Officer and Chief Innovation Officer, Tredence, Inc. In a career spanning 25 plus years, Soum held leadership roles at Accenture, Global Data Analytics Lead, at Mindtree, SVP and Digital Lead, at L&T Infotech, EVP and CDAO, leading multifaceted P&L functions, including M&A advisory for technology growth strategies and startup ecosystem. He led key growth portfolios, bringing in world-class capabilities, innovative solutions, and transformation-led outcomes, led value propositions to the client. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Soumendra Mohanty.
Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back after the lovely lunch. Thank you so much for coming here, giving your valuable time on Friday. I want to start with thanking 3AI team and EXL for giving me the opportunity to, come here in front of you and share my ideas. So I want to start today's discussion with the first part of the topic, the art of problem solving. So that is the core part of, the topic. Using technology of AI analytics is the second part. So the first part is, do organizations, make problem solving as a critical skill as required in the culture? Do people think about, as leaders, are my teams having the right skills for, number one, identifying problems, and number two, systematically trying to address them? So that being the foundation, we will, start this session. I'm very fortunate to be on stage with you guys, and looking forward to have this discussion on how can AI and analytics help solve business problems.
Sounds good. Thank you, Amita. So Welcome everyone after a good lunch. Excited to be speaking about this topic. To me, when you speak about problem solving, I think irrespective of the advancements that happen in technology, analytics, or AI space, one thing that's going to remain common is how we solve problems, how we stay curious and keep ourselves up to date. When you talk about problem solving, two things that come to my mind is problem solving should be about driving and enhancing customer experience. We are able to solve the most complex business challenges for the clients. Second is also how do we bring our tech experts closer to the business stakeholders and enable them through decision making. So those are two things that pop up my mind.
Okay, hello everyone. Glad to be here with you guys. So I'll keep it short. For me, the art of problem solving is, let's say, finding the smart, intelligent solution to the existing business problem, irrespective of which domain or industry you come from. So yeah, that's my perception about basically the art of problem solving. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Nice intro. To me, problem solving is all about the last mile, which means in this context, with technology, with data, with more powerful algorithms, we will keep solving very, very unique challenges. But at the end, the rubber hits the road when people really use it, the end user using it and making decisions and lives changing from there. So a problem solving from my point of view has to start from the other way around, not from the regular way that we look at problem solving as data engineers or data scientists. Yep.
Okay. So since we are talking about problem solving, and I come from insurance industry, at least the last 6 years has been spent in insurance or reinsurance industry. Let me try to talk about one of my experiences. So insurance industry has been built, the foundation, on the foundation where identifying risk and managing risk is pretty important. And data has always been, in the core of everything that we did. So we did have, from last hundreds of years, we did have some very smart statistical techniques to, build not machine learning, let's say statistical model, which, nowadays actuaries are using, right? So actuarial techniques is what we call it. But still, there was a need of adopting machine learning techniques because they felt that, this is how we can empower basically the power, make use of the power of the data and, get value for the business. But there is a challenge. When we say that we are using machine learning in insurance industry, it comes with a caveat, and there is the fundamental problem lies within where the losses that we are experiencing, we simply use those losses to predict, build the predictive models to make the predictions, what will be the loss, the frequency and the severity of specific loss scenario. But what we neglect is basically what is happening outside our portfolio. So to give you an example, if Swiss Re has around 8% of market share in Southeast Asia, right, we only use the losses that we have gone through because we don't have access to the losses or insurance losses that are happening outside the portfolio. So that was the first question that came into our mind a few years ago. And also the second point, giving you another perspective on it. Now, all the insurance industries have data science teams. They are using, the high-tech data, let's say, science platforms, tools, and techniques. They know which algorithms to use to run a supervised learning technique and document classifier. Then what is it that makes it different, that what gives us the competitive edge over others? So that was the question that we had to answer. And that's where we started, shifting our focus towards external data sources, something that Aditya from Chubb mentioned. And to name a few, I'll start with Wikipedia, and then civil court case documents, and GDELT. GDELT, I'll very briefly touch upon. GDELT is basically a brainchild of Google Jigsaw and some employees from Yahoo who've built the largest ever open data source on this planet right now, which is very up to date, and that makes it pretty huge as well in terms of size. We started using these data sources to download the information outside our portfolio. And we sort of increased the capacity of our data warehouse by, let's say, 9 times. So that means earlier we just had view into the 10% of market losses, but now we can say that we have around 90% of view into different types of losses that are happening, from the point of a very simple slip and fall of a customer in a McDonald's shop to a very high, let's say, very big natural disasters or man-made disasters, right? And to download this information, we are using, intelligent techniques, some smart filtering techniques, and after that, this unstructured data goes through a variety of machine learning models, where document classifiers and, which puts these documents into multiple classes. And once that is done, in the next layer, we do the content or entity extraction. And once entity extraction is done, then we link these losses with our in-house data sources to enrich, the in-house data source. And then that data source is used to now build the machine learning model, which simply increases the statistical base that we use to build any predictive model for any, let's say, for underwriting framework or, for claims automation, etc. It simply improves the capacity, or let's say the capability of, the predictive capability of the models. So just to conclude, in insurance industry, we are using AI and machine learning in almost every part of the value chain, be it smart underwriting framework, claims, fraud detection, telematics, you name it, and you'll find a solution either which has been built or it's in the progress of building. So yeah, thank you. That's from my side.
So just to add to it, we spoke about making your children go to law school. Maybe you send them to insurance industry.
Interesting. Thanks for that. And I'll probably take that cue and talk about we talk a lot about accuracy, quality of data, and if you look at traditionally how we have made decisions, we've evolved from a phase where we did not pay a lot of attention to data. Now data is the new currency. We look at not only how we connect disparate data sources, how do we store them, but analyze them and build insights at scale. Now, we are not just stopping at that, we are also moving a notch higher to talk about consumer behavior. And I'm sure each of you in your organizations are looking at understanding consumers, understanding their interest, and also what drives some of their demographics so we are able to better target users, right? When you put things into perspective in the domain of marketing and the domain we come from, whereas programmatic, that is redefining marketing success, we look at how we can tap into these data at the right time so we are able to enable some of the decision making around the right user targeting. For example, let's look at media mix modeling. For our customers, one of the top of the mind thing is the return on investment, especially in a time where there is limited budget, and how do you look at allocating budget for the right campaigns, for the right medias. You will have to enable your data set to be so robust that where you're able to read and predict how the media allocation or budget allocation can happen. So when we look at arriving at these data sets, one of the examples that stands out is one, when we look at the customer's problem, we analyze not only their marketing data, sales data, but also revenue. Then we top it up on all of the online metrics as to CTR, CPC. You look at the offline visits that happen and continuously try to build algorithms that can read through some of these data sets and predict what are the campaigns that are going to deliver the highest value and where we need to be allocating the client money or the budget. And that's how you kind of look at how we are able to efficiently and effectively solve some of the problems for our customers, but treat their money as responsibly enough, but also be at the forefront of how we solve some of the challenges. And when you talk about driving that transparency in the media spend and where analytics, AI is making headway is around how we enhance data accuracy, but also how we kind of make sure that there are no algorithmic biases. And I think today's session we spoke a lot about data accuracy and algorithmic biases, but for us one of the key things is also we don't want it to be perpetuating, especially based on the models or the algorithms that we build. We also constantly bring back that focus on how accurate as our algorithms been that is able to drive the outcomes and the metrics that the client is looking for.
That's good. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you. So as part of EXL Analytics, we get to work with thousands of customers, and by virtue of it, we get to understand a lot of industries. So I can relate parallels with a lot of what you said with many other industries and, many other problems that we hear across CDO org, CMO org, CTO org and all. I would like to ask a follow-up question, particularly what are your views on data privacy, the cookieless world, and, restrictions on third-party data access. So how is this impacting, how are marketing leaders looking at it using intelligence to derive how they run the function?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Amita. If you look at data privacy and regulation, I think even in our previous session, Anshuman was kind of touching upon it. This is only going to accelerate as we move forward. And for us, data privacy and regulation talks about how we are leveraging wall gardens and also data clean rooms. And for us, when you look at wall gardens, the data and there's a lot of limitation when it comes to what you can build upon that and how you're able to take that audience information and connect it to other sources. However, that's where the data clean rooms comes into play, because data clean rooms is all about interoperability. You're able to not only understand the consumer behavior, but you're also able to take those audiences and activate it on other platforms. And today, with Google kind of embracing cookieless and privacy being at the forefront of the audiences, we are also looking at geocontextual targeting, where we are looking at hashed IDs, we are also looking at zip codes, but you are also building a model that is equal to or more than accurate as to cookie targeting today. And we have also tested this out, and as MIQ, we are being more proactive in understanding that our users respect data privacy and regulation. However, we also need to make sure that our campaigning algorithms and models are effective and efficient. So we are proactive in building cookieless solutions that are driving higher, greater return of accuracy and also client spending model there.
Thank you. Thank you. So many thoughts to share on this.
I think you're all touching upon some of the very critical aspects of it, right? Power of AI and external data. You talked about data privacy, data security, and those angles. You spoke about the entire process-centric side of the story. In my view, the other critical aspect of problem solving should also be about the consumption patterns, the usage of what we are producing. Now, at Tredence, we are, most of our solutions are very functional, deep analytics solutions, right? You're solving industry problems in a deeper sense. But the end user of it is a decision maker at the other side. Yeah? Now, throwing out a bunch of recommendations and leaving it there, saying, okay, you make a call how you're going to use it, versus can this be embedded into the overall systems and processes out there? Does it have a guided mechanism of what to choose, what not to choose? And this is where explainability and all things coming out. And hence, in the last 5 to 10 years, the power of technology, the evolutions, and all that has taken a huge leap. But design thinking, keeping the user at the center of it, and algorithms and data and solutions and decision-centricness around it, in my view, is the key to the problem solving, right? While we talk about those things, I would like to ask you a question back to you. That when we're thinking of problem solving, there is technology, there is process, and also there is a critical angle of skills and people, right? How do you navigate that? What's the playbook around it?
Sure. That's a great question, and a topic that's close to my heart. I firmly believe that in order for any organization to take the leap to really, make sure you're ahead of the competition, there are 3 pillars. Primarily, there are many ways we can summarize, but the way I look at it, right? So the first and foremost is people and culture. So as leaders, are we all taking time to educate ourselves? Are we all taking time to make sure the people working with us, the next generation of leaders, are educating themselves? Do we know what are the common use cases of AI or blockchain or metaverse in our industry? What are the pros and cons? What are the pitfalls? How can it be done right and how can it be done wrong? So first and foremost, people, right skills, knowing what skills we do not have in the organization, augmenting with right partners for that. Culture. So In the culture part, do we foster innovation? And when we say so, do we have programs such as, can ideas flow through a platform? Earlier, we spoke about a program, for crowdfunding of ideas, right? We at EXL, we also have a program for ideation, so where anybody can submit any idea, submit prototypes, and they are encouraged, they are recognized, some of them are picked up for implementation. If anybody criticizes somebody, we allow that, and we, encourage positive criticism, bringing solution to problems, and so on. So as part of culture, do you foster innovation? Do you foster taking an unconventional route? I think is very important. So people, culture being the first part. Second is the organizational process. So we spoke about agility multiple times, right? So agility, speed of the organization cannot be achieved overnight. It has to be a deliberate effort. We have to, from the top down, across the breadth of the organization, we have to make sure everybody understands the significance of agility. And it has to be shown by practice by leaders. It has to be shown in the processes we have, to have lean processes, to have right roles and responsibilities in place and all. So second is the process. This is where the concept of architecture or concepts like data mesh have been of great interest lately. Across the org, which team owns which data asset and how do you share data. In large organizations, this is a common problem of, who owns which piece of data and how do you share it, collaborate it over the data asset. Make it accessible to whoever wants to use it to build data products. So adopt the right architecture, right process to facilitate that. And the third part is the technology and tools part. So we live in an amazing, fortunate world that there is great advancement in technology. There are mature algorithms available. There's a lot of open source platform free for us to use. Now it's up to us to make use of it. And, if we have the right people in place, if we have the right culture, right process in place, the technology can be used, and then, great results can be achieved with that. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Okay. I think we are coming close to, these wonderful conversations now. So let me summarize. There is a people, process, technology, culture, innovation, and ideation, because technology is moving so fast that we get outdated very quickly. But as an organizational involvement, these things are very critical. What you pointed out is, and I really like that, because we deal, when we say we are learning from the past, how much of access to the past we have, and is that only our past or it is a collective past, right? Yes. That's where your external data and how somebody can leverage that to build more on top of it. And what you said is also very particular about responsible AI, explainability, data-centric processes and aspects of it and all that, right? So very, very wonderful, thoughts, and definitely this can surely go into a AI playbook, for the organization, for problem solving and all. But for the audience, I will leave behind one very futuristic, provocative point of view, right? Since beginning of the sessions and earlier sessions also, we heard ChatGPT, we heard this conversational AI and personal assistant and large language models and a whole lot of those things. It is given, right? It is going to, it's going to become better. It's going to become more pervasive in the coming days and futures. But if we reflect back to here and now, today, we have got the skills and competency aspects measured through experience and the output of individuals. I'm pretty sure all of us, when we get evaluated end of the year for our performances, it is always looked upon as, what did you produce, right? What is the output? Is it impactful or not? Yeah. But going forward, as the futuristic workforce, we all will have access to a personal assistant, right? Like it or not, or you declare it or you don't declare it. It is there. It is going to be there. In those situations, today, when something goes well, right, we get a pat on the back and then probably some more increments and accolades and all. And if it goes wrong, then we know the penalties that is associated with us. But tomorrow, right, having taken care of external data, having taken care of data privacy and security and all aspects, having taken care of organizational best practices, and the individual, which is you and me and everybody in the mix, with a powerful personal assistant like a ChatGPT-3, which is scouting around and right, augmenting with a collective knowledge and helping us to become more productive. If things go wrong, who do we penalize? So the future is human-AI collaboration, and this is something that we all need to be aware of, and we need to figure out how to deal with these things going forward. It's a very thought-provocative question, and I'm sure Samir and company are working on many of these kind of advanced topics that may not be here and now, but definitely tomorrow and in the near future. So in the next sessions and versions, probably we're going to see much of those. With that, thank you all. Thank you for brilliant point of views.
Thank you.